All right, let's dive into a world that's built on a single massive war. But we're not talking good versus evil here. Oh no, this is a war between the head and the heart. This is Alba's Stalemate.
So here's how we're going to break this all down. We'll look at the world's main conflict, the schools of thought that define it, the two people caught right in the middle, the huge crisis that throws them together, how they try to solve it, and finally, the absolutely impossible choice that it all leads to.
Okay, so first things first, let's get right into the core conflict because this one philosophical war is literally the engine for the entire story.
I mean, really think about that question. What happens when logic and emotion aren't just having a little disagreement, but are locked in an all-out battle for control? It's not about who's right or wrong, but about two totally different ways of experiencing reality.
And this, right here, is the perfect picture of those two warring sides. On one hand, you have logic, the belief that magic is a system, like a science, with rules that can be studied, written down, and controlled. On the other, you've got pure emotion, the idea that magic is wild, a living thing that's fueled by passion, willpower, and feeling.
So how does a war of ideas actually get, organized? It all plays out at a magical university back in 1780s Scotland, called the Royal Alba Salvatore Athenaeum.
And the whole university is built around these four academic circles. Each one has its own unique take on what magic is and how it should be used. This table gives us a great bird's-eye view before we get into the details of each one. First up, the scribes. You can think of these folks as the ultimate rationalists of the magical world. For them, magic has laws, just like physics. Everything is about history, precision, and the rock-solid belief that if you can't measure it, it's probably not real. And then, you have their complete opposites, the poets. These are the romantics, the dreamers. They believe trying to dissect magic is like trying to dissect a soul, you just kill it. For them, magic is passion, it's instinct, it's raw, untamed power that comes straight from the heart.
Then you've got the diplomats. Honestly, they look at the scribes and poets arguing and just see it as a waste of time. For them, magic isn't something to debate, it's something to use. It's a tool for power, for influence, for shaping society and getting things done. They're the ultimate pragmatists.
And finally, the alchemists. They're tapped into the oldest, most ancient forms of magic. They don't want to control it like the scribes or unleash it like the poets. Instead, they believe you have to listen to it, feel it, and work with it. For them, magic is all tied up in the natural world.
Now this is where it gets really good, because this whole conflict isn't just some abstract academic debate. It's a deeply personal war, and it's embodied by our two protagonists.
Meet Rory Kincaid. This guy is the scribe ethos brought to life. He's brilliant, he's a master of theory, and he can tear apart any argument with a few quiet, perfectly chosen words. But here's the twist. He's the son of a scribe mother and a poet father. So buried deep under all that logic is a romantic heart he tries his best to ignore.
And crashing right into his orderly world is Thea Devereaux. She's a historian from our time, 2025 to be exact, who gets accidentally pulled into the past. She is a poet through and through, emotional, intuitive, basically a chaotic supernova. But what makes her so special is that she's a poet who instinctively uses the logic of modern physics to try and understand magic. She might just be the bridge these two worlds need.
So you've got these two polar opposites. What on earth could force them to actually work together? Well, a crisis, of course. A massive one, where the very fate of their world is hanging in the balance.
This timeline just lays it all out, doesn't it? In 2025, a grieving Thea accidentally activates a rune and poof, she's gone. She lands smack in the middle of 1780, where Rory's world is dealing with the fading, a terrifying crisis where magic is just disappearing. And on her very first day, they go head-to-head in a debate. And guess what? They fight to a perfect stalemate. Logic and emotion cancel each other out.
That stalemate is a huge moment. It proves that neither philosophy, not his, not hers, can fix this thing alone. It forces them into this reluctant partnership, making them combine his logic with her intuition to figure out what's really causing the fading.
So they start digging, and in the school's archives, they find their first big clue. It's a line from a letter written by Thea's own ancestor, Isabel. And she's warning someone about the school's founder, a scribe named Finley MacLeod. She's saying he wasn't just trying to study magic, he was trying to cage it.
So their investigation basically turns into this awesome intellectual heist. They start in the archives, which leads them to this wild theory.
What if the constant war between the scribe and poet philosophies is literally what's killing the magic? To prove it, they have to go on a secret mission to break into the founder's vault and find his private journals.
And everything, the clashing ideas, the investigation, the undeniable connection growing between them, it all builds to this one final, heart-wrenching choice that only Thea can make.
And this is it, her ultimate stalemate. By fixing the magic, she's reopened the way home. She can go back to 2025, which would save her best friend's life in the future. But if she leaves, the delicate balance she and Rory created will shatter, and the magic of 1780 will be lost forever. Or she can stay. Stay with Rory, save this world, but risk erasing her entire past and creating who knows what kind of paradox.
And in the end, that's what it all comes back to, isn't it? The fate of 2 different centuries, 2 different worlds, all comes down to her one decision. It's the ultimate test of logic versus emotion, of duty versus love. It is the final, impossible stalemate.